This chapter introduction goes a lot harder than it probably even should, but I digress. Yeah, this guy is rocking it. How did I die? Those arrow guys again? Yeah, I can believe that, actually. After a relatively friendly introduction into this area, yes, I am supposed to be looking like a porcupine. We get introduced to a guy who has a great set of pipes for somebody who has no pipes. Exploring this desert wasteland finds many an oasis, some of which even have cute little froggies in them. Ooh. Oh. Now, this cute little guy was looking for a pot to jump in, so I decided to help him out. I go down there? I'm going down there. Hey buddy, I'm over here. Don't you ignore me. After thoroughly disgracing him with my bare hands, there we go. You can go around and find a number of interesting characters in the area. One of which is a dog, evidently, who looks like a fox. Proving that in fact he is a friendly NPC, I decide to engage him in conversation. The funny part is that what he asks me to do, I have already done.
Stay and help. A deity like myself will not short you.
Are you a deity? When I talk to him again, he gives me the ability to make pills based off of recipes that I found throughout the world up until this point.
Man follows earth, earth follows sky, sky follows Tao, Tao follows nature. These common pills, I grant you. Hereafter, you may craft more yourself at the shrines.
Now, the wonderful thing about crafting pills is the fact that they are, yet again, more consumables that I will never consume throughout my entire playthrough. I think that maybe I used a few consumables throughout my playthrough, but considering the fact that they disappear so quickly and trying to gather materials for them is so arduous, that it never came up. I really didn't care to use them at all. Continuing my exploration and finding that people will leave random drinks laying around for anybody to come by and take. What's this? Lamb brew? I happened upon what was to be the most annoying section up into this part. Little town. What the heck was that? Such a quiet village full of rats that like to shoot me from afar. Seriously, you'd never get from how I do inside this area that it is probably one of the most annoying areas. Especially because, as you can see from the side there, archers start flinging all sorts of nonsense at me. Where's my target? After running for dear life, I found myself inside an open field that had some interesting characters within it. A couple of different rats, a rat governor, and one of these two-headed rats. Where did this guy come from? Unluckily for me, these were not the only things in this area. As upon dodging around and getting flown into the arena, I encountered Earthwolf. And why did that? All while still fighting these guys. Do not ask me how I survived this. I have no idea how I survived this. But I'm going to let this one play out completely, so that you can see how I survived this, and maybe tell me how I did it. What the heck? Come on. That's it. Ugh. I'm definitely not winning this one. Oh, I did beat it. Again, I know I'm not bad at the game, but I don't think I'm that good at the game. So it was more or less luck than anything. Surprise. After taking the soul of one of those annoying archers that had me pinned down for a while, I found my way to the Rat King and his son, having a nice little heart-to-heart.
Son, I hear you loud and clear. How can I not know your sufferings? But before our master returns from the valley,
I decided to break up the family reunion, but upon doing this, I actually learned that you were able to get the spirit of this guy had you defeated the father first, which I almost did in my first run, but decided against it after I realized this guy went into a full berserk mode once you killed the father, and it was far easier to beat him this way. Once again, don't go down the easy route, go down the road less traveled by, even if you don't know which one that is. Woo! Nice. I travel down a side road, and I find these little Buddha head type things. Don't really look like Buddha, look a little angrier than Buddha. But you can take their eyes, so I did, not having any idea that these would lead me to an actual boss later on. Buddha's eyes. What does that do? I found this guy stuck in a rock down one of these paths, who asked me to go ahead and kill something in order to free him from this stone. So I did what anyone in these games would have done, and killed something to free him from those stones. There we go. This is why I hate gang fights. There we go. As it turns out, he was quite a bit less than grateful for me having freed him from the stones and decided to come out and attack me. So I did what anyone would have done and attacked him for attacking me. Can I heal? In so doing, I gained the ability to transform myself into rock. Ooh, Azure Dust. Transform into a rock Y, immune to all 4 banes, builds up might when hit. After exploring the sands a bit more, I happened upon the Rat King again, talking to yet another member of his family. I'm beginning to think that these rats probably multiplied like rats. As it turns out, his other son loves him even more than his first. As much as, say, a tasty treat. Tasty, father. Delicious. Delicious. Love the taste of... After giving this guy a slight bout of indigestion, I continued on exploring the area, unaware that my hunch about this wall behind me being slightly out of place was actually going to turn out correct, but I'll get to that in a later chapter. Only seem to come out whenever you're attacking. Defeated! I found my way through a crevice to a little bat who wanted his soul stolen as well, which I was indeed more than happy to provide him with that release from life. I stumbled my way around until I found my way to the king of the internet, a lot of blood, i.e. adorable cat videos. That doesn't seem too healthy for you, buddy. I found him to be actually not that bad. Though I can say that this arena probably didn't smell too well. Gallons of blood, rotting corpses. Yeah, I probably had to take a grand old bath after this. Can I, like, attack quickly? Like, the whole point of this guy is that he attacks quick. And after just a few rounds of cat in the cradle, he went down just like all the others before him. Woo! My goodness! I was so clean. Defeating him gave me access to the rock solid spell, which is kind of like a parry, except not anywhere near as useful. You can only use it once every like 15 seconds, and even then the timing is just as annoying as a regular parry, but again, far less useful. Meandering my way through the towns and villages that open up after defeating the tiger, I happened to find a sobering stone, which would come in handy later. Is that a wine worm? Oh, sobering stone. Ah. What do I use the sobering stone for? I was making my way downtown, walking fast, because I'm homebound, and happened upon a tiger again. There are so many tigers in this part of the game that one would think we were probably somewhere in India and not so much. Well, you know what? We probably could be. Upon showing him that he had chosen indeed the wrong master to train under, I got my reward, an old rattle drum, which I promptly forgot that I had ever obtained and was very confused as time went on, and that came into effect. I made my way stealthily past a whole bunch of bats and rats and found my way into this area. Oh, I wanted that. Which even the stones are angry at me. I don't understand why. I didn't do anything to you. I just maybe picked you up and threw you a few times. That was it. I can't help it that you're so skippable. Not the face. After showing him exactly why paper beats rock. Oh my goodness. There we go. I started making my way to my next objective. which apparently involved running into this drunken boar.
Raise thy cup, seek answers on high. Who defies death neath every sky? Oh, I messed up.
He told me to meet him back at this temple, but upon arriving, I didn't find him anywhere. So I did the next best thing,
Where are you,
which is coming over here and finding out what this thing opens. I wanted that staff, but it wouldn't let me have it. Whoa.
Well, it's good that it's going somewhere.
Disturbing imagery and putrid smell aside, the only way to go was down, so that was the way I went. Turns out that there was a horde of civets down that hole,
There we go.
one of which actually
My
gave me its
goodness.
soul.
Nuts, why don't you? Civet Sergeant.
Upon continuing, I found my way to... Ooh, a treasure chest.
Does need more like
Yeah, you know, I forget sometimes the things that I'm doing,
Brigadier
so
General.
I forgot that I had found a little treasure chest here. I also forgot that there was something up here that I wanted to get to, and I never actually got to it in my first playthrough. Turns out that it's something that you can get that affects your drinks. Just so you know, just kind of a little side note here.
What's this?
Upon arriving at the bottom, I found this guy again. Once again singing without a head, which I find a very interesting talent. One that he could probably make quite a bit of money on, but here he is, singing to me. He gives me a special power that allows me to duplicate myself and have extra clones come in and aid me in fighting. Evidently, he pulls out one of his armpit hairs. Kinda disgusting, but I guess Chinese mythology, folks. They gotta do
What
something.
are you? Like that kind of like monkey hair type thing that...
This befits you grandly. Aye, luckily I've kept it close for its rightful owner.
A pluck of many. Blowing strands into the air creates duplicates to assist in combat.
As luck would have it, my good friend Shoe Dog was also down
This guy
here.
again.
And he decided to help me in the crafting of not only normal pills, but as well as celestial medicines, which permanently increase your stats.
Invested
Probably
many of
about
them.
as much as those other pills that you find lying around all over the place. Upon deciding that my most important attribute was defense,
one
I
is,
decided
like,
to pour
almost
all of the
necessary.
materials that I had into that singular attribute for the time being. Before proceeding, I decided to explore further. And yeah, you remember that rattle drum that I had found earlier that I had completely forgotten about?
What is
This is
that?
where it came into use.
Where did I get that? I don't remember that.
I also happened upon an overbloated tick with many eyes and a keen fondness for blood. After popping his bubble, in more ways than one, I decided that it was time to go on and proceed to the boss of this region.
Oh, come on.
Which, surprise surprise, the boss of this region is another rat. Giant rat at this point, but still a rat. And you see, as soon as I saw him carrying that head, I knew that that head belonged to the headless guy. And evidently that's not like something that people come up with naturally. So
That's okay.
I'm probably just more
Not
morbid
necessarily
than
need to
most
escape.
people, but it seemed like that was going to be the case. Now, I died a lot to this boss. A lot more than any other boss up to this point. I think that the closest boss was the Wandering White at like 9 deaths or 12 deaths. I can't remember exactly how many. That was way back at the beginning of the game. But this guy got me 23 attempts. So 23 attempts from the time I started fighting him to the time that I actually beat him. And I think that the problem was not that I'm just so terrible at the game. The biggest problem that I was coming across was that this boss will call in a wall of air, and he can jump outside of that wall of air, making him completely unassailable from my position inside that wall of air. So I would get to this barrier that I just couldn't attack him. And at this point, I didn't understand that there were different stances, like the thrust stance or the smash stance. I was using the pull stance throughout pretty much my entire playthrough. This guy was very annoying for the fact that he could attack me from outside that wall, and I had no means to counter it. Then me trying to attack him brought me close to that wall, so he would stay outside of that wall while attacking me. Upon doing a little bit of research through a few attempts, I found that I could get him to stay mostly in the center as long as I myself stayed in the center, which I eventually did. I stopped chasing him through that wall and just wound up staying around the center. I would also learn later that there is a secret area in here that you can get something called the Wind Tamer, which if you use, completely negates the effects of his wind, which would have been so useful, especially right about now when the tornadoes started picking me up and throwing me all over the place when I was in the middle of my combos.
Oh, finally.
And that's it. Chapter 2 completed. Is what I would say if I didn't realize that I had missed so many things and came back later to finish all the things that I had missed. After a brief foray into Chapter 3, decided to come back and actually take a look for the boar guy.
This is
And
where you are.
I found him. Pretty quickly, a little bit embarrassed that I didn't find him sooner, but This is how it goes when you're playing a game. Having yet to have learned my lesson about delivering things, I happened to find this rock, which said deliver. I didn't know what I had to deliver, but I decided to deliver it anyway.
Oh, the Buddha eyes? Interesting.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give you your eyes back. I didn't know that you didn't like them that much.
Well, don't you look...
After teaching Grumpy McShiggandang a lesson about the benefits of gratitude, he finally accepted his punishment and went away. Just like all good things that you should ignore. They do eventually go away.
What on earth is going on? How did that hit? Ouch.
Woo. I found my way back to the yellow piggy,
You go right back to
who
where you
evidently was
started.
very upset that I had something from his brothers, and I have no idea exactly what it was, but I had something that belonged to his brother.
Little piece.
Granted, it is very difficult to outwit a monkey when you're drunk, as this boar quickly learned that outwitting one monkey is bad enough, and outwitting 5 dozen is a whole nother matter altogether.
Oh, jeez. Now I can immobilize you. There we go.
What an excellent fight! The intensity!
I know, right? It was like camping. Intense. Sorry. I follow him into the giant iron door, which behind he apparently needs to tell me his entire life story before actually allowing me to move forward onto the next plane. So, skip. Before proceeding onward in the secret area, I decided to hunt around for the areas that had the rattle drum. I heard that I was supposed to find a well, and I did find a well. Evidently, it led me to this kid, who told me that I needed to then jump down the well.
Okay. Clean?
Huh? How did you even know I was here?
Well, the black miasma didn't help.
I know of this place. Don't tell anyone, but I have a friend in this well. He helped me with my coughing fit. It's been so long. I hope his wounds have healed too.
Okay.
Come down and play with us.
Okay, that's not spooky at all.
Down this well was a mad tiger. Literally, a mad tiger. Mad in pretty much
Mad
all
tiger?
senses of the word. Mad as in angry, and mad as in quite insane. He didn't seem to care for the fact that his last meal had run off. So instead, he decided I was going to be that meal, and I unfortunately proved to be quite a big mouthful for him. Is what I would have said if he didn't absolutely annihilate me in the first 10 seconds of the fight.
How could he sit there and grab me like that?
No, don't!
What the heck?
That was a little extreme, don't you think? His victory was short-lived, though, as I got him on the very next try. Lots and lots of dodging are required for this guy, for long periods of time, evidently.
There we go. Boom. Two tries. Two tries.
And as for my rewards for completing this crazy quest, I got the Mad Tiger's spirit,
My goodness. Blood of the Iron Bull. Mad tiger.
And a gourd. Gourd!
Plague bane.
Having completed nearly everything else, I decided, what the heck? Let's go fight another tiger, because evidently there are plenty of tigers in this game. Evidently from lore, this tiger is the father of the two other tigers in this area, and like he had something to do with like the rats taking over and stuff like that. But I'm not really a lore guy, so I don't know. I would just say watch somebody on that, because there are a lot of tigers in this game and all of them seem to be related, which is kind of a problem.
While I stand, none shall pass.
Alright, but looks like I am probably going to be passing. Alright, one spot, please.
After showing him exactly what happens when people over 30 decide that they need to fight someone,
Such fierce staff work. You wield grand might.
he requests that I help his king, which is evidently the giant rat that I fought at the end of the chapter. Get moving, Pops. Luckily, this giant rat guy doesn't remember me at all, and he wants me to help him fight this giant beetle, which just so happens to have a head on its back. Makes me wonder where this giant rat got the idea to be hauling around a decapitated head. Ooh. Big old beetle. Kabuterimon! Mega Kabuterimon. So I go down and do all the hard work. Ah, you better run away. And only after I go up and grab whatever it is that he wanted me to grab from this decapitated head that the beetle has fused to his body, is when he finally decides to come down and help me out.
Is that the only thing in the vessel?
I'll join you.
Sure. Don't say no to a bit of assistance.
Of course, me, not wanting to let him have all the glory to himself, stays not anywhere near far enough away from the beetle. Luckily, it worked out for me this time, but I highly doubt that I would ever get that lucky again.
Come on. These enemies and their like movements that put them like right out of the way. Whew. There we go.
And this is truly it, where Chapter 2 officially ends for me for this run-through. Now, I did make a couple other trips back, not for anything in particular. And if I do find a boss that I forgot to put in here, I'll put it in there. But this was where I officially stopped coming back to take a look around in Chapter 2. The rat and I left on good terms, and I got to keep whatever it was that I pulled from that decapitated head. which once again was evidently key to helping me beat this rat earlier on. So who knows if he would have helped me if I had done that.
I thank you.
Thank you all for sticking with me this far. I hope that it was entertaining for you, and I certainly hope to see you next time. I'll be making more videos like this to go over my run-throughs of certain games, okay? And I just hope that they're entertaining. If not, leave a comment down below, and I'll try and fix it.